special meeting?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I have 7 o'clock, so if everyone wants to gather together, I will call the Town of Cromwell regular meeting of December 10th to order at 7 p.m. If we could start by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Julia, will you guide us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, so proceeding ahead, we have approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? I think we will have 2 amendments to the agenda for items O. We need to add a G and an H for Vincenzo Marfalla for the Facilities Committee and John Alward for the Facilities Committee as well. So do I have a motion to amend the agenda to add items G and H to sub-item O1?
Motion approved.
Made by Al, seconded by Brian. Any further discussions on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention. Are there any other amendments to the agenda?
You have Vincenzo and C and zoning?
As an alternate, correct.
Oh, as an alternate, okay.
And if the council doesn't, they can make the determination if they want him on 2 committees or 1, but he did submit 2 applications,
Okay.
1 for each committee. Any other amendments to the agenda? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to approve the amended agenda. Made by Paula? Second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Okay. Next, we are going to go to our commission chairman reports, staff reports. So are there any commission chairman reports or staff reports that we'd like to have presentations on from any of the departments? Okay. Hearing none, we'll go to the mayor's update. Happy holidays to everyone. I hope everyone had a good and restful Thanksgiving. I had the stomach bug, so that was really great. And, I don't know what it says about me, but at my Thanksgiving, people kept asking me why I wasn't drinking wine, so I need to kind of think about what my reputation apparently is at home. But that said, I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. We did some Business of the Quarter awards for 2 businesses, Tanya Alterations and as well as Warpath Studios on Main Street. Both business owners were really pleased to receive those awards. Tanya said she thought we were joking and that she didn't think Stuart was serious when he called and told her that he was the Business of the Quarter, but she was very, very grateful for the support. So the Business of the Quarter program is a really great program to highlight businesses because it's so important that not only do we recruit new businesses, but we recognize businesses that are already here and continue to provide them support and show them that the community really cares about them. And thanks to the EDC Commission and Chairman Fortenbach for joining and organizing and leading that charge. I think it's well worth it. We attended 2 ribbon cuttings this past month for Wagging Tails, the new pet store that's in the Crossroads Plaza, as well as the ribbon cutting for Murphy's that has now the former Chicago Sam's, former Rookies, now Murphy's. So they did their grand reopening after doing some renovations. And it was very interesting to talk to the owner about how the transition is to more experiential experiences at pubs versus the old-fashioned drinking and having beer. They have pool tables now, they have dart tables, they have other interactive games, claw machines, things like that. And then they're also cutting back on the bands that they have, probably to be only occasionally on Friday night, but mostly on Saturday night to try to attract more folks to come and watch the games or do pool leagues or other things like that. So that was a great opening, and they had a chef there that was making some really great food. So I'm happy to see a new business there, and I hope that they're both successful in the long term. And those are my major substantive updates. I do have one update. Deputy Mayor Waters has been asked me to find out from Mattabassett about where they stand with regards to their improvements. About a year ago, we held a public hearing with Mattabassett about odor complaints and other infrastructure upgrades that we wanted to see. I was told and directed to go to their website for more specifics, but they have a tab called Capital Improvements on their website where they list about 24 different projects that they have going on and the expected completion date or completion date for each of those. What I'll do is I will download that page and distribute it to the council and attach it to the minutes so people can look at it for the next meeting. So I apologize for not having that ready for me. And otherwise, those are my updates for the month. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Okay, hearing none, I'll move on to the town manager's update. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My report is also in the packet and attended a number of the ribbon cuttings as you did. The most important thing I think I have to report to the council is that the town of Cromwell will be receiving a check for $511,247 from Eversource that as a result of the, that's for the solar panels, correct? The incentives for the Cromwell Middle School, and that will be going to the general fund. With that, if any counselors have any questions, I'll be more than happy to attempt.
Any questions for the town manager? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to our next item, which is town council liaison reports. I believe we have some new town council, we have a new town council liaison from one of our boards here. Mr. Zabrowski, if you want to come on up and introduce yourself to those who don't know you, and then we'll open it up to other liaisons, and then we can do our liaison reports.
Sure. Hey, guys, how we doing? For those of you who don't know me, Matthew Zabrowski. I've served on the Board of Ed for 4 years. I just entered my second
Can you just
term.
tap your mic to make sure it's on? It's on.
Okay.
It sounded like it was on. I usually speak too loudly into these things. So, oh, you want me to louder even?
No, you're perfect.
Okay.
You're crystal clear.
Jack is giving me the... I think this is a Jack.
Ignore him. Go ahead.
We honestly, we don't have too much. We do have a new chair. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Alicia Gaduti was voted the chair of the Board of Education after the last election. We have 2 new members. We have Jessica Lamb and Donna Matei. So we are excited to welcome them into the fold and kind of baptize them by fire because they've entered right as we've started our budget process. Last night, of interest to the town council, the Board of Education met, and one of the things that they talked about was the timeline for the budget, the development of next year's school budget. The board members are expected to receive that on January 20th at our next meeting. So we'll be able to begin the process of reviewing and going through all the numbers and all that. As far as the rest of the timeline goes, the Board of Finance should get the budget in March, and then there will be, as usual, a joint Board of Ed and town budget presentation, which is anticipated to be held in April. Other than that, nothing of note other than kind of our normal procedures.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions for him? I just have one question, Matt.
Sure.
And it's something that I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, but I know it's something that we talked about.
Yeah.
Is would the communication subcommittee and kind of the concept of sharing more of the and celebrating more of the achievements of the Board of Ed more publicly? Has there been any discussions on setting that up and kind of helping us move that together forward?
No formal discussions yet. Okay. I anticipate that'll come up in the future.
Okay, great.
Probably right now we're kind of just trying to, get our new board settled and looking primarily at the budgeting process.
Yep.
I think once we get kind of through the nuts and bolts of that, then you're going to see us kind of look at those other options.
And okay, perfect, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Okay, any other from the town council liaisons, any other commission board chairs that are here to report on what their committees are doing? Okay, now I'll move to the town councilors for their liaison reports. I'll start with you, Paula.
Okay, I attended the library commission meeting on November 17, the youth advisory board meeting on November 18, and the Cromwell Cultural District Commission meeting on November 24, where I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, no, they did receive our application. For those of you who don't know, the town of Cromwell applied for a cultural district application for our historic Main Street and our cultural attractions on Main Street. I did receive today confirmation that they received it and that all of the links are functioning and they were able to download everything. Because I did ask them, I said, when you actually go to download it, please let me know if everything actually works. And today they said they've begun to review our application and they can confirm that they've started to go through it and all the embedded links are working properly. And for those at home or in the room listening, what the embedded links are, Kelly, who was the former chair as well as the real driver of the project from a lot of perspectives, had put into a PowerPoint a link to a interactive map that has every single house that's historic labeled in Cromwell on that side of town, every restaurant labeled on that side of town, every public restroom labeled, and every public facility labeled. So you can sort by color or type, and you can actually click and it'll give you the information on each house when it was built, like all the historic houses. She went and pulled all of the historic record name placard cards for the Historic National Registry on the different houses, and they have descriptions of each house. So, I mean, it must have taken her hundreds of hours to do that work because it was really impressive. And once the application's accepted, we'll try to find a way to get that information posted on the town website. Right now, it's still being reviewed by the state, but we're hoping to have that be published too because it was really a fabulous endeavor on her part.
Did they say how long it would take to
They
hear
said
back?
they would reach out to me with any questions. And they hope I have a happy holiday, so that makes me think certain things.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you, Paul. You and Al both went to the senior commission?
I did
You did
not
not,
this
only Al,
week.
okay. Brian, go ahead.
After the review with fire commission, last month, first of all, experienced, pretty big loss in John Swanson. Yeah, they experienced a pretty big loss in Don Swanson. It was sad to see that. We also talked about the creation of a human resources department with the town and perhaps doing some sort of sharing in the duties of that. They are very interested in perhaps doing a little bit of a shared cost and shared responsibilities. They would like us to present to them some sort of fair division of cost. I think the last time that this all came up, they were expected to pay 50% of the cost, and they don't share in 50% of the responsibilities or of the human resources department. So they were looking for some sort of number once we put everything together to see, but they seem very, very interested.
Yeah, no, I'm ecstatic to hear that. That was one of the points when we did the KERMA study for shared services, HR, human resources, personnel was one of the areas of identified savings. So I'm very excited to hear that, and we'll reach out to them and try to see what we can work out.
Yeah, if I may though, just for the record, we didn't give them any cost, and at no time did we tell them 50%.
We'll figure out how to.
I
yeah.
understand, I just don't want, the council thinking that we, proposed a 50% to them when, we have the majority of the employees.
Yeah, I think it'll be proportionate to whatever the employee numbers are. That's probably the fairest way to break it down, but we'll ask them if they want to meet with us to have some development on it. So, anything else, Brian, on your end? I'm really happy to hear that, though.
No, not it.
Great. Mr. Waters?
Senior Advisory Commission met. I'm very impressed with our health coordinator. She gives a fabulous report. And, thank you. She gives a fabulous report, and I'm glad to see we have her on board, because there were some particular places in town that she didn't mention by name, but that were in violations, and she seems to be how can I say, gung-ho for health. That was one of the things that I just gave them updated advisories, excuse me. I advised them of some of the updated things we're doing on town council. As far as the EDC, there was nothing too important to present. As you are aware of, the Cromwell Panthers football team lost to East Catholic High, 21-31. Not realizing how good East Catholic was, but they turned around and went supposedly to Ansonia and whipped Ansonia, which Ansonia is one of the top teams in the state of Connecticut for high school football, and they did so we lost to a good team, basically, and if we didn't have the dew on the ground down there that was freezing, we probably would have won it, because two of the running backs, they went right down on the ground. They just slipped. They couldn't control it. So they got tackled, and they were on the way for some points, but it didn't happen. I mentioned last month, and I'll mention again today or tonight, Reefs Across America is this Saturday at this Veterans Cemetery in Middletown. And if you know any veterans that are down there, come down, grab a reef, and place it on their headstone. It's something very heartwarming to see all the people go down there and do that. And then after they're done, just look at all the reefs that are there. It's great to see the veterans being recognized this way.
Yeah, no, it is beautiful. I've done it before. It's a great ceremony.
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. Mr. Hennehan.
Just a couple of pieces over the last month. Board of Finance is working on getting a new commission chairman, or a new what's the word I'm looking for here?
Chairperson, yeah.
They are rudderless at this point. I guess I'll just put it that way. So they'll be working on that, and I guess we'll be a part of that, because that's the next step.
Yeah, if by, just to fill in the blanks there, by charter, if they're unable to select a chair within 30 days of their last meeting, where they were supposed to select a chair, then it would come to the town council for us to make a decision on it. And the way that would work, I'm glad you brought it up, is I believe 30 days is the 21st, so the 30th day would be the 20th. That's a Saturday, though, so the earliest we could meet would be that Monday, which would be the special meeting on the 22nd.
Okay.
And if they indeed have an impasse until then, they could, reconvene if they have a breakthrough. But if they have an impasse until then, what we'll do is any candidates who have come forward from their commission to want to be chair will present to us, and then we'll have a vote on it on that special meeting.
The other piece I wanted to mention is the Conservation Commission is doing a lot of work around sustainable Connecticut, and they are working towards a lot of opportunities that could come to Cromwell because of the work that they're doing. And I'm hoping that they could make more progress quicker. But I know it's very difficult watching everything that they're doing and looking at the reports. And Stuart is here. I don't know if you have anything to do with that tonight, if you're going to say.
We could have him talk, because I think our application is in or about to be put in.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I could just point
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
I've
Okay.
been working very diligently on that with my
Yep.
staff, and I'd just like to point out that our initial application is complete. We had a point review. We're over 200 points. We qualify for bronze status in April, so we will be submitting it formally in January after the final point review. We've been meeting quite often, and I have to say that Jennifer Tranquillo in my department has been working very hard on it. We did a number of things related to food policy. I made 2 presentations at the Senior Center to 2 different luncheons. We've designated the Conservation Commission as the food policy committee here in Cromwell. So we've done a number of things for public outreach, which is a big requirement of the Sustainable Connecticut, and it's probably the kind of the biggest hurdle to get through is the public involvement. We did a number of surveys with the seniors in relation to food insecurity. So that's been going along very well, and I again would thank my staff for all the hard work they've done on that. Thank you. And
I can tell you, they have done a great job of really going deep into it and picking out the pieces that they needed to expand on. And the meetings that I've gone to, they've done a great job.
Thank you.
The memo that you sent along?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think you all recall several meetings ago, the mayor raised the issue of combined sewage overflows to the Connecticut River, which is not a new problem. But what was new is that two state representatives, Representative Zawistowski from Windsor Locks area, and Devin Carney from Old Lyme, I believe, wrote a letter to the EPA Region 1 urging Massachusetts, which also has this problem, to take more aggressive action to address CSOs that ultimately impact downriver here in Connecticut and certainly in Cromwell. So I did look into that. I did some background research. I talked to colleagues at DEEP and shared this letter with Mayor Dimitriadis this past week, outlining not only the background of this issue, what's being done in Connecticut, the difference in legal authority between Massachusetts and Connecticut. We really don't have any authority to make Massachusetts take additional action. The EPA Region 1 did respond to the representative's letter on September 18th, I believe, and basically said that they are working on the issue. They are working with the outlet flows in Massachusetts, which are located in Springfield, Chicopee, and Holyoke, and urging, as funding allows, trying to separate these sewage systems. So that work is ongoing in Massachusetts. It takes a long time because of the funding. Work continues to be prioritized in Connecticut by our Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. I outlined in the letter that we originally had more than 13 of these outflow tracks into waterways in Connecticut. We're now down to 4 because of our state's prioritizing this issue. So based on this, it was my personal thought that we didn't need to, that signing on to that letter wouldn't provide any meaningful action, but there were other opportunities and options that perhaps the council could consider that we may want to think about, which I outlined under recommendations. So basically that's kind of the summary of where we are. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ann, for the research and the legwork on that. Learning that in 2024, Hartford's CSO outflow pipe pumped 796 million gallons of untreated wastewater into the Connecticut River is just so alarming to hear that number. And I'm glad that they're trying to fix it, but that's, us being downriver, and a lot of our waterways feed into the river, and we know it's a symbiotic system. So I'm glad that they're cleaning it up, and thank you for the research and opening my eyes to a lot of how this process works. Really appreciate it. Anyone have any questions for Ann on that?
Mr. Mayor?
Brian? No, go ahead. Al first, then Brian.
What Ann got in here in her research, which I was taken back when I was reading this, that Hartford dumped more waste into the the Connecticut River than Springfield, Holyoke, and Chicopee all together.
That was the question I was gonna ask.
And, you know, why can't, they're modernizing everything up there. They've been modernizing for the past 15 years up there, but yet they're still letting the raw sewage come out, comes downriver with the chemicals. Being a member of the boat club, I recommended that if they go down on jet skis, don't go out there, you got a mosquito bite on your leg. Because if you got a mosquito bite on your leg and chemicals, you can get infection. So that's a big help for Massachusetts. They just turn the AGO on, they just turn it back on, they just create a penalty that fixes the problem. That's been going on for umpteen years. But anyways, and we're suffering down here, but thank you. And thank you very much for what you're doing, appreciate it.
Brian, this is the same question.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was wondering what the comparison was to what Connecticut dumps into the river as opposed to what Massachusetts dumps into it. I wasn't sure. I didn't have that answer, but.
And have you seen any other municipalities put up, especially if they have public riverfronts, like a placard or a sign? You know how they have like fire safety where it's like yellow, red, orange? Have other towns that have waterfront access like we do put up like a sign or something that can go like, you know, green, water quality good, yellow, orange, red? Just because I know Deep does it on their website. You can go to the website and they'll tell you what the water quality is. But have you seen towns do it like they do for fire watches, for water watches?
I have not seen it for CSO overflows, but I have seen it for example, contamination of toxic chemicals and fish advisories. So I do think that that is perhaps something that we might want to explore. The state passed a right-to-know law a couple of years ago, which assures that we have the right to know when sewage overflows happen. And as you said, it's posted on the Deep website, but there are ways that we could pursue having notifications on our phones, and the town manager may know more about this as well. But I think there are opportunities for us to notify the public, notify Cromwell residents when these issues occur, so that they can be mindful of boating, recreation, and the like.
Thank you, sir. Reference to Cromwell being notified, up until our coordinator left, he was supposed to be getting notified by Mattabassett of any spills or any pollution or stuff like that. Now, maybe it's time, town manager, maybe you could turn around and direct our health coordinator to get a hold of Mattabassett and request what Sal requested, because he was getting the information, but he wouldn't pass it. He passed it on to James, and James passed it on to the boat club, the information. So is it
Yeah,
something you
we can look into it. The problem is Hartford, Springfield, Chicopee, not the Mattabassett. I mean, the Mattabassett in and of itself is a unique situation for us, but the majority also is the fact that there's at least 4 sewer treatment plants, and the ones in Massachusetts on a regular basis dump. It's actually treated, but it's minimal when they dump. The Hartford plant dumps quite often.
Well, Cromwell, where the discharge is, if I may, yeah, it's just north of the boat club out in the channel. And
Yeah, I understand.
it's gross. And it's a possibility that Mrs. Moore can turn around
Well,
and,
The problem is, it's not under our control, it's under Deep.
no, but to let us, at least give us a
No,
warning.
I understand about the knowledge, but it'd be nice if Deep took corrective measures and worked towards eliminating this problem completely, because everybody talks about how turn the Connecticut River around so that it is a recreational river, and it seems to me we're going in the opposite direction.
We are.
Yeah,
We'll definitely look into it, see what we can come up with.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ann? Okay, no, thank you for that research, Ann. Julia, anything from planning and zoning?
I was gonna go to the meeting, but it was canceled. I'm very impressed by all of your reports. I'm sorry I'm not very impressive as you are, but.
I think you're still very impressive. Don't diminish yourself. Yes.
If we could go back, regarding, the Board of Finance, in all likelihood, it looks like, they're still at an impasse and will continue to be at an impasse. I'm gonna check one more time with the, chair, and possibly the members, and if they're not, if there's no hope of anyone changing their vote, then I recommend that, possibly we look at, December 22nd, hopefully 5 o'clock, if possible, if everybody's available, and, the council will then have to take action as per the charter.
That's Monday, yeah. I'm available that time, I think, pretty sure.
Should be relatively short now, we're just going to.
Yeah, it'll just,
We're gonna hear their, will they be able to, whoever the applicants are or whoever's running? for
Yeah,
chair,
I'm gonna
to
talk to the
speak,
chair, and, Mr. Maley, who's the, other individual that's interested in the chair. And, if that is the date the mayor decides to set, then, I'm assuming the mayor will invite them to the
Yeah.
meeting.
my goal is to invite them both to the meeting to
And
present.
have them, if they so desire, address the council.
Yep. Everyone's available at that time on the 5th? Yeah, I'm seeing nods. Yes, okay. Okay, good. So that will probably be what we do. Obviously canvass them again if there's an impasse break and they want to have their meeting on whenever it is, tomorrow or whatever, they can always call themselves a special meeting to do it.
I'll keep you posted so that, you can, call a special meeting.
Okay, perfect. Okay, any other liaison reports? Otherwise, we'll move on to financials. Okay, moving on to financials. Financial budget report, item H1 in your packet, we have a budget report, and we have our finance director here.
Back from her trip, that's what I did.
That's back from her trip, that's right. Ireland.
Yes, I had a wonderful time. In your packet is the budget reports through November's. I don't have any concerns right now, but at this time, I start monitoring the budgets on a monthly basis of all the departments. And I just want to let the council know that the town received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for our fiscal year '24 audit. And this is our 34th year receiving that award.
Great, congratulations.
And I also want to let you know we're working diligently on filing the audit. There is a potential draft of the town. As a proactive measure, the auditor had me file an extension for the audit. That's not to say I'm going to use the extension, but they were having a little, they were waiting on some information for the Board of Ed. And I am now on all emails with the information that is going back and forth. So I am constantly updated where we are.
Great.
Any questions?
No, please, any questions? I just want to say kudos to you and your staff for another successful audit. Please extend to your staff our thanks for their continued work, and to you as well.
Thank
for
you, I
your
will.
continued work. Okay, no, I think that everyone's good. We're gonna move on to item H2, which is discussion and possible action regarding 100 Berlin Road tax abatement. Mr. Popper.
Good evening. With me this evening is Patrick Kinney from Lexington Partners, if we have any questions. But I'd like to give some background information first. So what's happened is the Lexington Partner Group is in the process of selling 100 Berlin Road to Alpine Residential. Alpine Residential is working very hard on the application. They were in here in September. They modified the master plan for the site. The mayor was at that meeting and met some of the representatives from Alpine Residential. I just want to point out we're very excited to have Alpine Residential. They are the largest multifamily landlord in the state of Connecticut. They own and manage over 6,000 multifamily units, including units in Middletown and Bloomfield, and many units in Fairfield County and in New Haven. So we're very excited to have them here. They're working very diligently on the plans. They're going to have a wetlands application in here at the end of December. There is no activity in the wetlands, but there is additional grading that they're doing on the site because they are removing the existing garage. So therefore, they'll be in the upland review area. So that'll be a one-night meeting. They hope to have plans in here in January for planning and zoning with their final plan and their architectural plans. So that's very exciting to have that going forward. Their goal is to do demolition over the winter.
Great.
It would be much better to demolish the building in the winter. Think of the residents on Christian Hill Road. There won't be any dust, won't be any noise. So we're really looking forward to that. So that's kind of the background. And we were very sorry to see Lexington Partners decide to move on from the project, but they were very selective in choosing somebody to take that over, and they did a great job, and we appreciate their efforts. So I'd just like to point that out before I get into the gist of what I'm here for. So back in October of 2023, we agreed to a tax abatement for the property with Lexington Partners as the developer. Now, that tax abatement had specific deadlines in it. The deadline to pull a building permit is basically December 25th, 2025. Now, obviously, nobody's going to be pulling a building permit for that property within this month. So we're here this evening to ask the commission to extend the deadline for the building permit until April 25th, 2026. So that's really the gist of our argument. Now, we've had this proposal reviewed by the town attorney, and she signed off on it, so we're all set that way. And again, it would be to extend the deadline, the building permit deadline, to April 30th, 2026. And so we would ask the commission, the council this evening, after we have a discussion, to make a motion, if you all agree, to approve that. And what's going to happen is the Lexington Partners attorneys will prepare an amendment to the tax abatement with that language. It will be reviewed by our town attorney. We'll all sign it, and we'll be all set. So that's kind of the gist of my argument. I'm happy to answer any questions, and Mr. Kinney's also here to answer any questions.
Any questions from the council?
What is the period of the abatement?
The period of the abatement will be 10 years, and the abatement does not begin, so I'll give you an example. Usually for tax abatements for commercial projects, especially residential projects, they wait till the very last CO for the last unit is pulled. Then they begin the tax abatement. That way they get the full value of the tax abatement. And that's how they did it over at the Landon, for example. So this tax abatement, this is going to be a 2 to 3 year construction project. So the actual tax abatement would not begin until literally the last unit is CO'd. So probably 3 years from now. But, we've been very fortunate. I just like to point out, since I've been here, we have issued a number of tax abatements. The Amazon building, the hotel, the Landon. We've seen an extensive amount of development. And obviously, the tax abatements, the previous ones were 7 years. Now the state statute's been amended to allow for 10 years. But it's only for the building itself. It's not for the property, and it's not for any personal property on site. So we still do better than what was there before. And it's really, in Connecticut, it's really the only tool municipalities have to encourage economic development. So I just like to point that out. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Stuart, do you have a monetary value on what the abatement over 10 years would be?
No, because that wasn't part of my plan this evening.
No, that's okay.
Because
I'm just curious as to
Yeah.
what the number might be,
Yeah. But what I want to point out is that I'm going to be back. Because if you remember, Scannell built the Amazon building. Scannell sold the Amazon building to a real estate investment trust out of Boston. When they did that, we transferred the tax abatement. So this tax abatement currently is written at the subject, or the owner of the property is Lexington Partners. And our tax abatements allow all tax abatements basically run with the land. So it allows whoever the owner is of the property to get that benefit. And when we come back, I'll be happy to discuss the numbers. So,
The council has to approve that transfer.
Understood. Mr. Waters.
Stu, I was talking to somebody on EDC, yesterday, and is this gonna come from the EDC for their approval? So, like in the past, we always turn around an EDC.
No. For this, all we're doing is we're extending the deadline within the existing tax abatement. When they come back to transfer the tax abatement, they'll go in front of EDC. EDC will make a recommendation, and then it'll be presented to the council. But as far as the extension language within the existing tax abatement, that didn't have to go to EDC, and I spoke to some of the members yesterday.
The extension, you answered that in the beginning, which is perfect. But I just thought that as far as this tax abatement, we have no clue technically how much they're gonna be asking for or how much we can
We've
offer.
already, no, you don't understand. We've
It's
already
not-
granted the tax abatement.
Yeah.
It's,
It's done.
We granted a tax abatement back in the fall of 2022. The town council approved the tax abatement. That included the 10 years, and that included all the financial numbers. That's all been done. All we're doing here is we're extending language within the agreement. We're not talking about the numbers, we're not talking about anything,
Just for the building permit.
just for the building.
Yes.
The date of the building permit,
Yes.
that's all we're doing. And again, when we come back, we're not gonna be talking about the numbers because the tax abatement is already approved. It's all done. The council already approved it. We can't go back and change the numbers. It's a done agreement. What the owner of the property is allowed to do under the tax abatement is transfer the ownership of the property, and that tax abatement already runs with the property. But the tax abatement already exists. We can't go back and abolish the tax abatement or change the tax abatement.
Is it for 7 years or for 10?
No, this one was 10 years.
10 years.
It was.
Because the state statute now allows for tax abatements to be 10 years.
That,
But did it allowed for it when we approved it for the current owner?
Yes.
So we're
10.
transferring 10 years of abatement, is what you're
Yes,
saying?
we're
Okay,
trying- Yeah, that's how it's gonna work when we come back.
okay.
thank you, Stu.
any
Thank you very much.
Any questions on this side? Stu, I have a question for you. I understand this is a transfer, and I understand this is pretty much, not a done deal, but we're transferring the next meeting or a meeting after that, we'll be
Right.
transferring it.
Right.
Tonight, we're extending the building permit. Obviously, we want the building to be built, we want the old building to be demolished as soon as practicable. In the future, and not for Lexington, because I know Lexington, you guys did everything you could to try to get the project moving forward, and there were things that happened in the interlude that obviously, what I'll call acts of God that we wish didn't happen, and we're very sorry for some of those things. But in the future, is there a way to build into these abatements, if there are delays, that it starts earlier? Because 10 years in 2020, in 2023, when the project was first proposed, 10 years was, our ballpark was 2035 for the 10 years to expire, because we assumed a 2-year construction period. Here we are 2 years later, and again, I understand unforeseen circumstances, but it hasn't started, the material, you know.
Right.
And so is there a way to have an escalation clause or something in them that give it a little bit of not for this one, for future ones?
Yeah.
To try to make sure that we're being good stewards of both
Right.
development, but also respecting the fact that we need to, move on these properties when they're.
Right, I understand that, we'll be happy to look at that.
Okay.
But I'd like to point out that all the other tax abatements that we've issued, we didn't have this problem.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Everything went in a timely manner, and as you said, unfortunately, there were issues here that occurred that we all wish didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking of ways to protect the town in the future. And, I mean, we also recognize this is a $100 million investment that's being made into the town, so that's also very unique. But just thinking in the future, I'm a
Yeah, we'd be
lawyer.
happy.
Lawyers think about not escape clauses, but little backdoors and teeth and different things, but
A little more encouragement.
encouragement, yes, some gentle,
Encouragement,
kind
yeah,
encouragement. Not to Lexington, to other groups, though. I want to be very
No,
clear.
I think that we'll take a look at that from a legal perspective.
Thank you.
But Stuart did point out that even with the abatement, during the abatement period, we get more taxes than we're getting now.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. The property was abandoned before drawing no taxes. Obviously, something's better than nothing, but I just think moving forward, now that it's a 10-year instead of a 7-year, and we're not gonna see the full benefit until 2035, now maybe 2036 or 2037, because if it's a 2-year construction period and the last CO is given 2 years from now. You know, I just want to try to make sure that there's some mechanism to protect the town side from, you know, if there are delays or other things, you know. So not anything, again, I want to be very clear to our friends at Lexington. We're very excited about this investment in the town. $100 million project is great for the town, just as a matter of scope and scale with future abatements.
No, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the town manager? No. I'm sorry, for the town planner. Sorry. People are buzzing me. Okay, so hearing none, we will move on. Is there any action? We need a motion. The
Yeah,
motion would be to extend the,
We need an actual motion to extend the deadline to April 30th, 2026 for the issuance of a building permit.
do I have a motion to extend the permit?
So moved.
Julia,
Second.
second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries.
Okay, and I want to say one other thing while I'm here. I want to tell everybody, if you haven't heard, that as everybody knows, I retired last December, January.
I don't
And
believe
I've
it.
been here for the last 14 hours a week for the last year. We have hired a gentleman named Andrew Anderson, and he is from the town of Bristol, and he will be starting this Monday as the new Director of Planning and Development. I will be remaining on in the position of Economic Development Coordinator, so you'll still see me.
Good.
Okay.
So, and I want to just thank everybody here for all the councils that I've worked with, and including you folks. You've been a pleasure to work with, and it's been a pleasure to work in the town of Cromwell.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a problem.
Okay, hold on. Okay, Mr. Town Manager, go ahead.
And we'll need to add that to the agenda tonight, and I'll have them before you in January, but, yeah, I'm trying to think now, he's, so, I believe, that would be my recommendation, and I'm gonna need to have that put on the agenda so that,
Tonight? So we can start on
council-
Monday?
Yeah, or else,
What we'll do is, if we could do eventually, I'm fine with adding it to the agenda as Stuart's blessing, as your blessing, but what I'd like is maybe we'll take a recess when we get further down, and we can just circulate his resume or something, so we at least have a basis to make that vote tonight.
Tonight, not tonight, right?
No, he's saying we need to do it tonight, for him
Yeah.
to start on
do
Monday.
we have it?
No, I didn't know. We're doing this tonight.
We'll take a recess. Why don't we take a recess before new business, and we can discuss in the
You have it?
Yeah, we're gonna do that, and
Go find it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take a
get it,
recess.
Because he was properly vetted by the, police department for us.
we'll take a recess, and we'll
Sorry, I said
do
it.
the administrative.
No, that's
Stuart, do you
okay.
mind
That's
staying
probably-
until new business,
Yeah,
just so we
yeah.
can address it?
Yeah, no
Okay,
problem.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service to the town, Mr. Popper. Item H3 is a request from the Community Events Committee for bid waivers. Lori, welcome.
Hello, Lori Olet. I'm at 17 Hicksville, and I'm also the vice chair in the Community Events Committee, and I'm coming to you today to see if we could forego the bidding for the RFPs for the amusement company and the fireworks company, as I'm having many problems trying to get an additional one, and the one that I'm dealing with was recommended to me and has been working with us phenomenally. So for both amusement company and fireworks. And the fireworks company actually has been the same fireworks company that we've used for every single fireworks display that we've done in Cromwell since I've been involved, which is about 20 years. So that is why I'm here.
There is a memo from Lori and the town manager in your packets as well, outlining the information. I want to say, before we get into the material of it, Lori, do you have any other updates about the building, or the committee that you want to give now? I know you didn't give it earlier, and I know you don't like public speaking, but you've been doing a really fabulous job, especially, for those of you who don't know, Lori was very much involved with former Mayor Spots when they used to run it together, and she has the binder, she has the book, she has the knowledge, she has the memory, and she's been doing her and Steve have been doing a ton of legwork to get the process moving forward. And they've done some fundraisers, and now they're kind of moving on to the next phase, which is really starting to plan the meat and potatoes of the event. So go ahead. I just want to thank you. I don't know if you were at the Christmas tree lighting, but I gave you a shout out. I didn't, but thank you for all the work that you've been doing on it. We really appreciate it.
So, I mean, but as you know, we have come up with a date. It is September 24th to 26th of next year. We've divided down into subgroups, and we're now trying to get into the meats and bones of everything, of different committee, the publicity, the sponsorship, the admin, and all different sections, and we're meeting separately as well as meeting together for the main. I'm not exactly sure what you guys don't know, so please feel free to ask me, but everything looks like, for those of you that have been around for a while that know what it is, it looks like it's going to be similar to what we've had in the past. No, we don't plan on closing the road. I'm hoping to use Community Field Road for vendors, and then behind police department, and none of that is official yet, but that's what we're hoping for. And then the amusements would be in the same area in Pearson Park. Fireworks, again, this firework company has worked with us in the constricted area that we have, because we do it over on the other side of Pearson Park where the playground is. And I've talked to them, and they're open that date, they're good, they're willing to work everything out. So I know we were talking about a stage. That was one thing that I do need to find out about, if the town still has a stage, and if it's worthy of still being used. I heard that it might be on its last legs. I don't know if that is true or is not true. Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, we're trying to get a kids' corner this time. We didn't have that in the past, so that's a good thing that we're looking for. And we have lots of ideas and suggestions, and we're trying to move forward as best as we can, because it is in less than a year. So we have a lot of work.
So Lori,
Yes.
is it gonna be open 2 evenings and 1 day?
It's gonna be Thursday and Friday from 6 to 10, and Saturday from 10 to 10. So 10 a.m. to, no what?
Thursday and Friday is the rides,
Is just the rides, correct?
and
from 6 to
Saturday
10.
during the day.
Saturday will be the vendors and all the stage and all that other good stuff.
Great.
What is the
If I
date?
may, Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
I support this waiver for these two vendors, knowing how much work Lori has put into this, and speaking from experience with the past vendor on the fireworks, it's very tough, and we know that individual has given us a reasonable rate for the fireworks, probably better than we could actually get from anyone else, number one. And finding a amusement company is not that easy. There's not that many out there, number one, like Lori said, and number two, trying to work around the dates and everything and put it together is a monumental task. So therefore, that's what reason I support Lori's request to ask for a waiver on these two vendors.
Yeah, isn't this in this smack dab in the middle of fair season?
It is,
Yeah, so it's a challenge.
it is, it's
To
actually
say
the
the
same
least.
weekend as Durham Fair.
Yeah.
Just to be upfront
Yeah.
and honest, it was
Yeah.
something we played with, but, we still feel that it's worthy, because the other options were not very good options. So
Yeah.
yes, exactly, that's the whole problem. And I had lots of problems getting people to call back, and actually the company that I am dealing with, well, let me back up. The company that we had for the 10 years I was involved, the gentleman has passed. And the wife I spoke with who recommended this company, and this company has called me back numerous times, has worked with me, has, anything that I've asked, he's bent over backwards. So,
Mr. Waters, go ahead.
Lori, how many volunteers you have so far? I'm sorry I asked.
they're coming out, they're just haven't gotten to us yet. I would say, we have a committee of 7, with an alternate. And then I would say we have about another 6 people that are helping us right now, but I do foresee more people coming forward now that we have dates. And I actually have had a couple people contact me since the dates. I think that's a big thing. I think now we can say, coming in September of 2026 instead of it's coming back. Yeah, right, when? Now we can really advertise it, and I think that that's when we're gonna get more volunteers.
Are you gonna happen to possibly get some high school students for community service?
That's already in the works, yes.
Good girl,
Yep.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. Any questions from my right? The meeting's tomorrow at 5:30. If anyone in the room or watching from home want to attend and lend their time and treasure to help bring back the Riverport Festival, my one question is, now that we've chosen a date, is anyone going to update the thermometers with the date so that people see the date?
To be honest with you, I didn't think of that, but thank you, and I will work on that.
I just thought, I know that's like really good advertising. Those are
No,
really bold.
absolutely.
And I don't know if the council was, if they shared with the council at the last meeting, but the Cromwell Lions donated $5,000 to be a sponsor. We're still hoping to raise another $40,000 or so dollars. So if you know anyone who has $40,000 and wants to be a godsend, let us know. But, or even $1, that can work too. And
Every
the,
dollar.
you have the T-shirts at the police department.
We do, and I believe that tomorrow we're gonna be working on getting more riverportfestival.com or something to that effect website so that we can actually get out there, get those T-shirts sold, and actually, kind of like Portland has their portlandfair.com. This is something that we can go directly, and people will look up that and have a lot more on that site.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, unfortunately, I'm going to be out of the country during the Riverport Festival.
Paula, it's where are you going to be?
Sicily and Malta.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
closed at that time, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Sicily's closed
Oh,
at that
is
time.
it?
I'm sorry, you can't leave. You can't leave the town that weekend.
We're all coming to the Riverport Festival.
Yeah, I
All
know. and
flights are canceled.
I hope you bought trip insurance.
What is the is there any particular donation amount, like 5,000? I mean,
Yeah, that's good, Julia.
We have different sponsorship levels, so once you I don't know them off the top of my head, but if you hit like $100 and then it goes to 5 and then 1,000, and I know our highest is anything above 5,000 or 5,000 and above, so Lions Club is a platinum sponsor. And with each sponsorship level, you would get certain things depending, your name read at on the speaker, or if, you're a platinum sponsor, you get your logo on our staff shirts, all different things per different sponsorship levels, which will also be shown on the website that, again, we're trying to really get pushed through.
Maybe we can put some banners on during the festival events.
Yes, that is one of the things.
Good luck, Lauren.
Put that on the record? No. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm trying to hassle the council members for donations, but they didn't want to put it on the record. It's okay. Thank you for all your work. We're really pleased. So now, is there a motion to accept the bid waiver as proposed for the fireworks and the the carnival provider?
Second.
I'll give it to Paula and give it to Al, and sorry, Jack,
That's
I'll give you the
okay.
next one. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next, I'll move on to item H4, tax refunds.
Motion approved 1 through 6.
1 through 6,
Second.
motion made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Chief of Police update, Captain Penn. Moving right along.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Chief's packet should be with you guys. Right prior to Thanksgiving, we had the Coffee with a Cop at Starbucks. A lot of you were in attendance. Went over very well. A couple of items to note. We've started the virtual giving tree. Started November 21st. It runs through the 19th. We have 100 slots out of the 155 that were open for giving. So we're almost completed there. On December 13th, they are holding down at the police department is your pet with Santa Claus through the ACO. It runs from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you have a pet, you want a Christmas card, come on down for your photo. And then on December 16th, we're doing a shop with a cop at Walmart. It was a grant through Walmart, and we identified some families through the Youth and Social Services Department, and they're going to be shopping with their families and officers. We've got about 15 officers who have volunteered to do this.
Any questions for the captain? Captain, two quick things. One's a real question, one's maybe fluff. I received a message today from the new mayor of Rocky Hill. He had an animal control question, and the question was, and if you don't know the answer, it's okay. What do we do for an animal shelter / pound? They currently partner with Weathersfield, but Weathersfield's pound is closing, and they wanted to know what Cromwell does for their pound.
We partner with Portland
Okay. So I will, no?
and Middletown.
We partner with Middletown.
Okay, I will pass that along. He was wondering who we use. So, so that was the real question. Then the other one is, I need to do a ride-along soon, so I'll reach out to you guys so I can actually do that ride-along. I've been meaning to do it for 2 years, so I will reach out. Thank you for your service and the service of all of our officers. I hope they had, the ones who worked Thanksgiving, thank them for working, when otherwise would be family time. We appreciate their service to the town.
Mrs. Carpino, she just did a ride-along as well.
Oh, I will. I will. Thanks so much, Captain. Any questions for the captain before he goes? Thank you for your time and service.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Moving on to Public Work Director update. Mr. Spina.
Good evening. You guys have my updates in front of you, a few points I'd like to add to it. We did complete the curbside leaf collection this afternoon. Kudos to the highway staff. Years past, it took us 4 plus 5, 6 weeks. We're right in the middle of week 4, and the guys really knocked it out. I think the the addition of the leaf vacs the last few years, it's really catching on, and we were able to have 3 out the majority of the time the last few weeks. So kudos to them. We'll keep one machine out there as long as the weather stays mild for anything that may have been missed and or put out late. So if they call, we'll be more than happy to go back and assist. Mayor, last month you asked about some enhancements to the website to try and make it more interactive with the residents. I'm happy to report that I did have a brief meeting with the town manager in Cassidy last week, and I was informed that there is the website is in the process of being updated, and they hope to have it completed before the end of February, give or take, and it will be much more, there'll be a lot more engaging back and forth, so hopefully it'll accomplish what you were hoping it would.
Thank you.
And then lastly, we did meet with Weston and Sampson, the consultants doing the study for us at WIS. I don't know how much you know about this. We're hoping to schedule them to come in for a presentation. I think it makes the most sense if we have not only this body but the Board of Finance together as well, because it comes with the 3 options they gave us are pretty costly. I'll give you some rough numbers. The least expensive option is $1.524 million. The second option is $2.334 million, and it goes all the way up to $3.140 million. And they'll be able to explain it much better than I. The least expensive option comes with the least disruption in playtime. We could have them do maybe 1 soccer field and one baseball diamond at a time, and you'll lose 8 to 12 weeks. And then maybe, do 2 in the fall or 2 in the spring or whatever. The other 2 come with much longer disruptions in play. They would need a construction season to complete the work in both cases, and then there's a minimum of a year of germination.
Just doing these things, is it, I don't remember seeing anything on this specifically, but we've talked about this for years.
It was what we thought it would be.
Is it digging up,
Yeah.
replacing?
So the least expensive option is just basically adding a few inches of more permeable, better drainage material on top of, which will give it the ability to absorb more water. Not the best fix, but it'll certainly make it much more playable. These moderate rainstorms, it'll hold it before it seeps through that non-permeable clay type stuff.
The longer, I know we'll get more details, but I'm just curious. Obviously, it's take the water down, take the water out. The more expensive process, what, puts different filler in there, or?
The second and the third, the 2 more expensive options do involve stripping material out completely and replacing it with better.
Okay, so it's what they're putting in there that's probably the cost.
They, you know, in a nutshell, the top 6 inches of loam or topsoil there is pretty good. It just can't hold enough, and then it hits that
Right.
and so you know, again, that cheaper option will add a few inches to it. It'll hold, you know, like a sponge. It'll just hold it a little more.
Right.
Certainly, the next 2 options
All right.
are more involved.
Thank you, Lou.
But we have to make it clear, the first option does not address the problem completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the
There-
best fix. It's
There's still gonna be water, there's potentially times when, as a result of a severe storm, there will be water on the field that will remain there until evaporation in all likelihood and absorption.
With, and then I'll open it up to the council for more questions, I apologize. With that project, and I know we'll get more information when they present to us. And again, for those listening out in the audience or at home, we're talking about the WIS soccer and baseball fields that flood. Are they gonna be able to present, or do they know of federal or state grant and other funding opportunities that they would suggest as cost mitigators? Like, are they, if they're, maybe because they do it, they're familiar with, like, oh, there's this program, there's that program?
I don't believe they, you know, they certainly didn't present that to us. If
Okay.
they do, but we can ask that.
Yeah, maybe they know of something, because, I mean, it's such a large project. If we're talking $3 or $4 million to fix it correctly, that's you know, our annual capital expenditures are $1 or $2 million for the entire town of all improvements, and that's 2 years' worth of capital expenditures to do it right. That's a hard pill if we can find mitigation abilities anywhere. I mean, maybe the council and the Board of Finance want to ultimately go with option 1 instead of, well, you know, we'll have the full presentation, but.
Yeah, that's why I think it makes sense for both boards to be here, because
Yeah.
it's costly no matter which route the town.
Would any of that require P and Z approval? Because I'm just thinking about, no, nothing, because it's a replacement of what's existing, right? There's no permits that they need to approve?
I wouldn't think it would, because
Okay.
it's just.
Okay. I'm just thinking, I just want everyone to hear the same information once. I don't want somebody to not be in the room and then be like, you know, I should have been there. Any other commissions, I'm looking at Stuart, any other permits or commissions that would need to be involved, or either of you can think of, wetlands or anybody? Nobody, right? Just Board of Finance and,
You know, what'll happen is if, when they're disturbing the site, obviously, you know, there'll be some erosion control methods.
Sure.
Established, you know, that'll be kind of an administrative function.
Sure.
Bruce Driscoll will be looking at any, you know, any erosion control that's installed, making sure it's maintained, that kind of thing.
okay, but nothing that requires other public hearings?
No public hearings, no permits.
Okay,
Because it's basically you're restoring, you're replacing an existing facility.
understood. Okay,
Thank you.
I will open it up to the council for any questions for Lou. Lou, anything else in your presentation?
That's all I have.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Waters?
Lou, have they designed anything as of yet, or that's in the early stages?
No, I think after they do their presentation, I think what they're hoping is that we'll give them some advice as to what direction we think we may want to go, and then that's when they'll focus on designing that.
Is it possible they can do something like we did with the football field, crown it, and then have at the lower end some of those retention tanks, you know, the yellow ones, to put down underground to catch a lot of that water if need be?
Some of the, and I can't remember if it was all or the couple of their recommendations, they were gonna put more slits and drain to get the water to get down to that under drain system a little bit.
Yeah, that was my
quicker.
question. I mean, I'm sure they did core samples. Do they know how far down the non-permeable, or how thick the non-permeable?
I believe they said it was
Material is-
about 3 feet, I believe they said.
And
There's 6
and
inches
is there
of
a way
good
to
material and then 3 feet of,
Yeah?
yeah.
And is there a way to
Brother.
strategically place some sort of dry wells in strategic areas to kind of alleviate some of the water?
There are a few.
I mean,
there are a
they
few
play on it now, and I understand there's a water issue, and it needs to be addressed, but I don't know that it needs to be addressed at $3 million.
Right. Well, that's a-
It's playable now. I mean, yes, I understand when we get a lot of rain and when we get a lot of water, it's not playable. Is there a way to alleviate the heavy rain issues without abating the entire thing? You know, that's, for the I'm sure we'll get this information with the presentation.
Only because the
Right.
council did approve the funding for us to look at this again.
Yeah, yep,
And,
yep.
your recommendations to the firm to, see if those things would work.
Yeah.
They they can answer those questions better
Right.
than Lou.
Right, yep.
And the other situation is, we already have some, dry wells out there.
Yeah.
And, that's really not the answer.
Yeah. There's some structural concerns out there too, but I don't want to do the presentation for.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Lou.
We're gonna set it up, the plan is to set it up, for the council and, invite the Board of Finance at the same meeting.
We should probably get that set up for sometime in January
January.
or early February at the latest,
Yeah.
before we get to near the
So
end of the budget.
what
process.
what I'd ask is, Amanda, if you want to reach out to, well, maybe just for caution, both Ed and John, and have them survey the members informally until one of them is chosen as chair, to pick a date that they're available in January, and then we can do the same thing for the council. Maybe, who's the clerk for Board of Finance? Is it Sarah? Maybe she can just email the Board of Finance members for a
We should
date.
check with John Harriman to see when the availability of the firm.
Sure.
And
I just want to get it
Then we
moving.
can do that
Yeah.
with both council and the Board of Finance.
Okay. I want to get that moving and get a date on the book for that, and if it needs to be a special meeting, it can be a special
I'll
meeting.
talk with John tomorrow. We can make contact with Weston and Sampson and see what their availability is.
Great, thank you.
I don't know if this is a question for you or not, Lou. I was wondering if you have any information on where we stand with, the water issue that we were having on, the Gardner McIntyre property that kind of borders Shumpike, where the sewer line is underwater there, when we had that meeting all together. and-
Dan Parisi, the sewer administrator, has been in contact with the DEEP. I think it's kind of slow moving. I don't think it's,
I think one property owner is not in agreement.
yeah. He's had conversations with property owners, and he's had conversations with the DEEP just to kind of get it going, but I haven't gotten any updates recently, so I can circle back with him as well.
Okay.
Mr. Waters?
The town manager, excuse me. Apparently, some of these detention ponds things are working because they did it at the middle school. They got a lot of them up there. And I think maybe they should just possibly, when they do the study, to see if it can be done. Otherwise, you won't have to go out as far.
Yeah, they did check them out. They came out after a rainstorm. They had us put the irrigation on to see how it was taken. They appear to be working a little, and again, I don't want to get out in front of the presentation, but that goes across the street behind the church on Court Street. Unfortunately, the drainage system is below so it's not running uphill. Water doesn't, we know that with South Street, right? So we got the same issue there. It's not gonna go uphill. So there's issues there. And again, that was something that should have been avoided back in 2001 or whenever the school was built, and unfortunately, we inherited them. You know, I mean, I'm kind of the opinion as Councilman Banu, I mean, is it really that big of a problem? But that's something for the two boards to decide.
Wonderful. Well, okay, any other questions for Lou on that? Otherwise, we look forward to that presentation. Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Lou, for your time tonight.
Good evening.
Now we will move to citizens' comments. If there are any citizens who would like to make comments, please come up to the dais and the podium. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per speaker. Please be respectful. And we cannot respond, or we're not allowed to technically respond to public comments, but please make the public comments, and then if we need to address them later, we can add things to the agenda to address them. So are there any citizens' comments? Any citizen, Mr. Maley?
How you doing? I'm Ed Maley. I'm a member of the Board of Finance for Shawnee Court, if you need that. I did not intend to speak tonight, but there's two things that came up that I thought I might be. One I needed to talk about, one I wanted to talk about. One, I want to object, and I'm sure that Mr. Hennihan meant no insult here, but I do want to object to the word rudderless for the Board of Finance. I don't feel that way. I know my Democratic fellow committee members do not, and I very much assume that the Republicans don't feel that way either. I understand that we have not been able to come to a conclusion on the chairmanship, but I just want to object to that word, because I don't think we
Can I
are.
change it to chairmanless?
Chairmanless is fine. So, and I know you didn't mean it as an insult, but it's not a good word. Anyway, the other one, which I'm sharing you some information with you, is, as it happens, I heard you talking about the combined sewer overflow issues. I was counsel to the Metropolitan District in 2009 to 2011, 12, in there for specifically this issue. We did some work getting some money from the post collapse federal folks to get them $50 million for their sewer project. That sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, but the project at that point was at $2.5 billion, and I believe it's at $4 at the moment. But just to say that, yes, that is something we are going to have to do. We should be very much aware of the fact that the numbers are probably, obviously our scope is much smaller, but our per foot cost may not be all that much less. So we should certainly, I've been talking about this for years. I just want people to realize that we are coming up to a point where we will have a substantial amount of need for money, which probably would be coming from the sewer users to do most of the things that are going to need to be done. So I couldn't agree more that we have a lot to do, and we should all be aware that it's coming and going to be expensive. I have nothing else, unless you have any questions.
Well, we're not supposed to do Q&A, but we can circle back. So we're all set, I think. We're not. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Maley. Any other citizens' comments? Any other citizens' comments? Okay. Hearing none, I'll close citizens' comments. What I propose that we do is we take a brief recess in order to resolve this issue about the appointee of a new town planner, Director of Development, the new Director of Development. So let's take a recess. We'll be back at 8:25. Amanda, is that enough time for you? Yeah. Okay. So we'll be back at 8:25 after a brief recess. Okay, good evening. The time is 8:27. I'm going to call us back into order. If the counselors can resume their seats, so we may go to unfinished business. Item L. Nope, we're good. So item L is unfinished business. We have no unfinished business. Item M is new business. I would accept at this point a motion to amend the agenda to add a director of development to the agenda, appointment of director of development. I should note that a mid-meeting amendment requires a 2/3 majority. So, yeah. So I will take a motion to amend the agenda to add as item M to the appointment or approval of the town manager's recommendation of the Director of Planning and Development.
Motion.
Motion made by Brian, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion on that? This does require a 2/3 vote to be approved mid-meeting. So all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. The agenda is amended, and I believe both of these items are yours, Mr. Popper.
So I'd like to point out that we advertised way back in October of 2024 for the position. I'd like to note that at that time, there were 6 other towns searching for a planner. The town of Weathersfield took over a year to find their planner. There are currently planning positions, same position in the town of Plainville, the town of Southington. The town of Southington is actually offering a $20,000 signing bonus.
Oh.
So,
Don't tell Mr. Armstrong that.
yeah, so it's been a very, I mean, we interviewed, over the last year, we've basically had 3 qualified people apply. We interviewed all 3 people. 2 of the people took jobs in other communities, so they disappeared. And then we had Mr. Andrews contact us. We interviewed Mr. Andrews. We felt that he was very qualified. I mean, normally how it works is you get somebody who is in the number 2 position, they want to move up, so they're trying to climb the career ladder, and they apply for a job as a director. He has many years of experience. He seemed a very personable gentleman, and we felt very comfortable with him. And after the interview process was completed, we offered him the position, and he accepted the position. And obviously, the town manager can explain the process that he goes through to be vetted, and he has been vetted.
Just as a technicality, the first item for you is L1, which is the redevelopment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we got to start with there, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. So we established a redevelopment agency several years ago, which was very unusual for a town of our size and for a town with no real areas, no blighted areas to be redeveloped. There was thoughts at that time of redeveloping a portion of the neighborhood around the river, down by the river. There was contact with some developers who were very interested in that. And at that time, for that reason, the mayor at that time established a redevelopment agency. But in the long run, the project along the river didn't work out. And I really don't think a town such as Cromwell really has the need for a redevelopment agency. And the other factor is this. If we decided that we were going to redevelop the area, I mean, I don't think that people would be very interested in voting for eminent domain and taking people's properties. And you know, one of the chief powers of having a redevelopment agency is it gives you that ability. And I really don't think that would happen in Cromwell. I never really, but at the time the agency was established, there was an interest from a developer, a well-known developer out of Hartford. We were working with them, and we thought that it might be a way to do the plans that they were interested in. But it didn't work out, and at this point in time, we just don't see the need for it. And again, if sometime in the future, the agency could always be reestablished. But it's appointing people, having them come to a meeting, it's just not worth it.
Any questions?
I want to support the recommendation made by the town planner being involved when we did have some interest from a developer on the development. Every time we looked into the possibility of grants or funding from other sources. We just don't qualify. That's one of the biggest problems that we have here in Cromwell. We looked at recently a bunch of deep grants, and again, we just don't meet the criteria. We tried utilizing this method, but again, as Stuart pointed out, our town does not fit into that category. And the problem that we were having then, after we established it, was this developer thought he was operating within the city of Hartford instead of the town of Cromwell, and ended up actually requesting that we pay for everything. And finally, we got to a point, Stuart and I agreed that it was no longer feasible to discuss a project with this developer, because he felt that, you know, under redevelopment, but we just don't fit that criteria. And I agree with Stuart. I don't see any area of the town that fits into that, unfortunately, the way that it's interpreted by the state.
Except West Hartford.
What? Oh, okay.
I'm not familiar with West Hartford.
With a company who was looking at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Any further questions for Mr. Popper on this topic? Okay, I will accept a motion to dissolve the redevelopment commission.
Commissioner.
M- Motion made by Paula, seconded by Julia.
It's actually the redevelopment agency.
Will you both accept a friendly amendment to add redevelopment agency instead of commission? Okay, so a friendly amendment's been made. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay, now Mr. Armstrong.
So again, we selected Mr. Armstrong after he applied. As I mentioned, it's a very tough market. There's just not the people out there applying. We had a lot of people apply for the job who really liked the title and wanted the title. They had literally no qualifications, but they really liked the idea of being a director. And we had lots and lots of applications from people who had absolutely no experience in any way, shape, or form. So as I said, we did interview 3 parties. 2 of the parties took similar jobs in other towns. And Mr. Armstrong was a very good candidate, and he accepted our offer.
Stu, why does he want to leave Bristol?
Pardon me?
Why is he leaving Bristol?
Because he wants to move up.
Step up?
He doesn't want to be a coordinator, he wants to be a director?
Right, he's basically, so what happens usually, and I did it in my career, that you're the number 2 person somewhere. I was the number 2 person in Manchester. I left Manchester to go to Wethersfield and become the director there. So it's a career step. That's why you do it. After you've been the number 2 person for so long, if this is gonna be your profession, like anybody else, you wanna move up. You wanna make more money, you wanna have more responsibility, so that's why you do it.
So, if I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
So, I apologize, number one, I didn't realize it was gonna be this Monday. I take the responsibility of, not having the information or the individual here tonight, before you. Stuart is 100% correct. First of all, it's not because he's standing before us. Stuart has done an outstanding job, the last 10+ years, working with me anyways, that, he has been outstanding in what was, accomplished in economic development, as well as, the, information that he brings regarding development and planning. And, you know, it was pretty tough to replace him. We did offer, as I said, as Stuart said, the position to a couple of individuals, and after consideration, they moved on to other areas and did not accept our offer of coming here to the town of Cromwell. And then this gentleman came along, and we've been looking for, it's over a year now.
Yeah, because we first advertised in October of 2024.
So, this gentleman was extremely interested, and we did do interview panel with the gentleman. He impressed all of the individuals on the panel, and I did have discussions with him, and when he notified us that he accepted the offer to come here to the town of Cromwell, he was properly vetted by the police department, as I do with all directors. And I think this gentleman is gonna be a outstanding fit with the town. Very personable, very knowledgeable, as you can see from his resume. And we're gonna go slow with the gentleman. Stuart is gonna stay on as economic development for the time being, and this gentleman will concentrate on Director of Planning and Development. And I again apologize, and I make this is my appointment subject to approval of the council.
Any questions for the town manager or Mr. Popper on this appointment? I just have one quick question. So with you staying on as EDC coordinator or director, what commissions would he take over for planning and zoning, inland wetland?
Right.
What's the split?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Okay, so, 100 Berlin Road, I'll be there to shepherd that through.
Great.
Okay, so
That's the promise.
I already told him he had to do it.
To be honest, there's a couple of really big things that can happen.
Yep.
And we're hoping they happen, that we can't make public at this point. And I want to be here to make sure that those go through.
Okay.
And I especially want to make sure that 100 Berlin goes through.
Great.
We don't want to be like Rocky Hill and have the Ames building for 30 years.
Right.
No. We want to see that building come down this winter. So, I'll be here.
I'll be the first one with the sledgehammer if you need somebody to swing a hammer.
If you could give him, like we discussed, this gentleman will handle planning and zoning, and
Yeah, this gentleman will handle planning and zoning, but we're also looking at a little bit of reorganization.
Okay.
So for example, Bruce Driscoll, who is our zoning enforcement officer, who has over 34 years of experience, in most towns, how it would work is that Bruce would handle inland wetlands and zoning board of appeals.
Okay.
And then the town planner would handle the planning commission and any other commissions, for example, the conservation commission. So that's how it would work there. So we're gonna be looking at some reorganization, basically to make it more comfortable for somebody, because, Bruce and I do a lot of meetings, and at part of the time, it's almost redundant.
Okay.
So it's good, it's one of the things we'll be looking at for the future, because, Bruce will be retiring someday, and, it's good, we're very excited to bring somebody young in. We think it's really good, since I've been here, the age of the Public Works Department and the staff has really gone down.
Yeah.
When I got here, I was a young guy, so it's,
what commissions will you be handling?
I'll be handling the Economic Development Commission, and I'll be obviously still attending, we're gonna have 100 Berlin Road, they're gonna be in, and I'll be at the wetlands meeting for them, I'll be at the planning and zoning meeting for them, just to make sure, I'll be there to assist Mr. Anderson and make sure that everything is presented.
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions for the town planner?
If I may?
Go ahead.
Mr. Popper, I've been on liaison since you first came on, and I'm glad you're staying on. You are definitely an asset. I know when you first came on, we both had difference of opinions, which at least I matured, and, well, I'll admit it. And, you always give us the right information and keep us informed. That's one thing about you. You do your homework.
Thank you.
All right? So you stick around for a couple of more years, okay?
I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So do I have a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Andrew J. Armstrong as the new Planning and Development Director?
Motion.
Motion made by Brian, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Mr. Town Manager, if you could see if he's available to come to the January meeting, so we can meet him, that'd be swell.
And again, I apologize.
Yeah, and, has he met Alice yet?
Has he met Alice?
Has he met Alice yet?
No, he'll meet Alice on Tuesday.
Good,
I'll
on
be there-
Tuesday.
I'll be there to help him.
Okay. I mean that with all the love in the world. I just know she has a high standard, so I want to make sure they're met. Okay. So moving on to approval of the minutes, I'm in trouble now. Can I have a motion to approve items N1 and 2 for the regular meeting and the public hearing meeting?
I have a question on two.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Mayor, go ahead.
Mr. Salvatore, in the minutes, he talked about, Route 9 and the turnaround. And he did mention, which I was glad he did, about the water issue down in that area. I don't know, I think Mr. Salvatore might know about where this water originates from. What you're talking about, Cromwell Creek area, through that area where the water issue is?
Why, I'm happy to have this discussion, but let's move it to informational items. Is there a change to the minutes that you want to make here?
No.
We can definitely talk about it under informational, but let's
Okay,
wait till
go ahead,
informational,
go
just
ahead,
so we can
go
get through the appointments, because I know some of the appointees are here that want to probably address their nominations, so I want to be respectful of their time, but I hear you. Okay, so any changes to either of those minutes that we want to make? Okay. Motion made by Al,
Second.
second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay, next we're gonna go to appointments. So what I wanna do for appointments is I wanna do planning and zoning first, and then the public assets and facility members, second.
I have some questions.
Yes, so let me give some preface on.
Yep.
So there are three applicants for planning and zoning. Two of them were approved by the RTC. One was not approved by the RTC. David has expressed interest in it. He's actually an independent. But I understand that, the RTC wanted to replace two of their former members with these two members, or I think they're actually both currently serving as alternates and want to keep the same membership. And I'm fine with that. We have a tradition of deferring to the parties to nominate folks. So what I'll propose is to Mr. Geithner is I believe there are openings on other boards and commissions. Amanda, were you able to pull what has availability?
I just double checked the ZBA one that you
Yep.
wanted. There is availability on that one.
Okay.
What was the other one that you said?
I think, was it no, it was one other one that had, I think there were two that had availability. Inland wetlands, I think, was the other one that had.
Definitely use them on wetlands.
Yeah, and he has experience, but he was on another municipality's planning and zoning board, so, what I'll do is I'll reach out to him tomorrow and explain, that we had too many names for the site, and see if he has interest in inland wetlands or in ZBA, and see if he has a preference between the two of them, and we can get him on the next agenda.
So now we just need a motion to unapprove, right? Is that-
Yes, so last meeting, we appointed all three of them. We appointed too many people to the planning and zoning, so we need to have a motion to unapprove Mark, David, and Vin. Oh, just David? Just David. Okay, so if we could have a motion to unapprove David, we've already appointed the other two, so we should be fine. So I'll accept a motion to unappoint David because of the administrative error that was made at the last meeting.
Motion?
Motion made by Brian, seconded by Al. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next, we'll move to appointments D through, nope, we added the G and H. So D through H for the appointment to the Public Asset and Facilities Committee. So I know there's some folks that, I think at least one folk here that it wants to be appointed to the committee. Jason, do you want to speak to the council as to your appointment? I know you submitted a letter in support of, with some background for yourself in addition to your application.
Is there a limit to the number of people we can appoint?
Yeah, so I'll explain that. So the commission, the way that we pass the ordinance, there are three appointments that are from elected boards or elected bodies. So Board of Ed, Board of Finance, Town Council will each make one appointment. And then 4 members of the public in addition to 2 alternates. So, Mr. LeBlanc, go ahead.
Good evening. Sorry, my college-age kids gave me the crud, so I got a little something in the voice, but my name is Chase LeBlanc, 3 Cedar Drive. So I wholeheartedly support the effort that the town council is doing right now to create this committee. I'm looking forward to working with the rest of the people in the committee as well as the rest of the people in the town to kind of move this effort forward. For myself personally, a little background, I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and a master's in business from UConn. I worked at Stanley Black & Decker for a long time as a capital project program manager, where we moved production lines both domestically and internationally. That means the whole line, equipment, people, training, everything, as well as new production facilities. So brand new building, sites, equipment, training the people, moving the equipment in. So these are $20 to $50 million large projects as well. I was also a home improvement contractor for residential and commercial. So developing, working with architects, surveyors, people like that, as well as all the trades to get these projects done on time and cost effectively. And then my last employment was at Hyaxum, and they do hydrogen fuel cell power plants. So I was a sustaining engineering manager, had a large team of engineers that basically all we try to do is keep that power plant running. So it's welding, mechanical, structural, electrical, and maintenance issues, trying to do it timely, cost effectively, but also, keep it going. So these are all large dollar projects working with multidisciplined people, and I think that's the kind of approach that we probably need for this effort as well. So again, I support this. I've also worked in town for quite a while. Project Recess Rescue, for those who don't remember, was the playgrounds at ECS and WIS. Actually, Mr. Salvatore was there at the ribbon cutting for the one behind for the pre-K kids, so I actually directed the install for those 2 playgrounds. I was the president of Cromwell for 5 years, so I'm intimately aware of the fields and how they work and flood or don't flood, as well as the athletic field committee in the last few years as well. So hoping that I can continue moving forward for all this good stuff, and looking forward to working with you guys and the rest of the town and the other committee members as well.
All right.
Any questions?
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for stepping forward to be on this committee.
Yeah.
I have one other question, and I don't know if Andy would know the answer to it. I think I know the answer for one. An issue was raised just brand new to me. Do you know if the Board of Ed voted to have Steve as their appointee at their last meeting?
That I don't know. I can check, but I didn't make it through the whole meeting.
Yeah.
I watched some of it last night, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Because it was brought to my attention that the appointees for Board of Finance and Board of Ed needed to be voted by their boards as the recommendation from those boards, and I don't know if they did that at the last meeting. I don't have a problem with Steve being, I think Steve's eminently qualified for it.
We can double check, but yeah, I'm not sure if they went ahead and did it at the end of the meeting. I made it for about the first 45 minutes.
Do you know when the next Board of Ed, I know
They
Matt's
just
not
had
here.
one yesterday.
Okay. Mr. Town Manager, my question is for Board of Finance and Board of Ed, do we have to wait for them because it's their appointment? Do we have to wait for them to make the appointment?
You're correct. Since the way the ordinance is written, they would come from within their group, so their group would select who their rep is.
And then we don't need to appoint them, they appoint them.
Well, no,
Or we
then
need to confirm
eventually
them.
you have to appoint
Okay.
them.
Okay. So I think for Steve and Steve, we may have to wait,
Table that one.
we may have to table those 2 until their respective boards vote for them. I apologize for the delay on that.
Yeah, we'll check that out for the next meetings and get those lined
You
up.
may know in a second.
Yeah, okay, if they voted on it yesterday. Okay, well, we can discuss the other applicants. So we have John Alward, who is an unaffiliated. His background is, he runs a small business that develops and builds laboratories in a wide variety of applications, so he has construction experience through that. Vincenzo Marfella, who's been on planning and zoning for some time. He has been involved in local government and also is a member of the police department up in Hartford, and I know I've spoken with him about his involvement in projects in Hartford and various roles that he's done in public safety. And so having a public safety perspective on the committee is helpful as well. And then we have our other applicants that are on the agenda. So Jason and then these 2. So Did we receive, Mr. Keithan's application? No?
I did see his response to your email that he was gonna get it to you.
Okay.
We'll have it for next month.
Yep. And then, I know Mr. Harpley, had submitted his application, but I didn't get a chance to forward it to you, it was this afternoon, so we'll put him, he's wanted to be an alternate, so we'll put him on next month's. Okay, so we have 3 candidates that are good to go for tonight, assuming the council wants to approve them. So I'll accept a motion to appoint, Mr. LeBlanc, Mr. Alward, and Mr. Marfella, tonight, if I can have a motion. Motion by Julia, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion on that?
What about that?
Yeah, what about Steve?
So the 2 Steves, the Board of Finance and the Board of Ed have to
right,
vote.
right. He's
They
on
have to, they have to vote for both of them at their
Right.
meeting. Did you hear back yet from?
No, I did not.
Okay. Yeah.
Clarify a point.
Yeah.
This body is the appointing body, so I just wanna backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
You can appoint these individuals, I don't recommend it, but, you can do it without getting input from the, Board of Finance or, the Board of Education. I would recommend, the way the ordinance is written, that you wait to get it, but you are ultimately the appointee.
Yeah, I think because it does say that the board, different boards appoint somebody, we should wait until we hear from those boards about how they vote.
You wanna give them an opportunity.
Yeah, I wanna
to
give,
decide,
I wanna be,
But I just wanna make it clear, you don't need their permission.
okay, I understand. I mean, I don't know if the folks feel differently, but I would rather just wait and do it correctly than rush it and maybe not do it correctly. I don't know if people feel differently.
Is there any need for haste?
No,
Okay.
there's not.
No,
then
and I think in the
I
interest
agree.
of not muddying the waters.
Yeah, okay. So those are let's start with those 3. So do I have a motion to approve the 3 gentlemen I just mentioned?
Make a motion.
Well, there was already a motion, I'm sorry, we already did that. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Does the council want to defer our choice of who we want to nominate from our own board until the next meeting so we can see what the full appointment roster looks like? Or do we want to discuss that tonight?
Can discuss it if you want.
Yeah, so does anybody on this board feel passionately about being the town council representative on the board, on the facilities committee?
Yeah, it's something that I have interest in.
Okay. Do you want to, I mean, Brian, I know you're a small business owner, but do you want to speak to like your experience and kind of what you bring to the table? I know you've been part of our other efforts to collaborate with other town entities too, so just kind of give everyone the background.
Yeah, I have a business degree from Quinnipiac College. I've owned my own business for almost 20 years now in town. I've worked with a lot of the different facilities committees and such. I think that I would be a good fit.
And nobody else has interest, right? Good, okay. So, I'll take a motion to amend the agenda to add the appointment of Brian as the town council representative. So we'll do the amendment to the agenda and then we'll do the appointment. Made by Jack, seconded by Al. Any further discussion on the amendment? It's been amended. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And now on the appointment, do I have a motion to appoint, Mr. Bonneau?
Motion approved.
Made by Al, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? Okay, you are appointed, and with 4, yeah, it's okay, so we have 4 now. Got it, good. We have 1 independent, 2 Republicans, and 1 Democrat on the committee, so I think we're still on smooth sailing for our minority and majority representation numbers. Okay, next we have reappointments. Item 02, sub-registrars for the town of Cromwell, Jay Doolittle and Louis Serrano.
Motion approved.
Made by Al, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. And now we're on to informational items. Mr. Waters, if you wanted to go ahead and ask for your informational item about the flooding on Route 9, now's a good time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Tony, according to, I think you said something about Route 9, the turnaround or something, and you wanted this DOT to look at some of the water issues down there?
No. what I said was, they're proposing a roundabout
Yes.
at the end of Main Street.
Mhm.
And, at that time, in a meeting with the Commissioner of DOT, I asked that while they're, exploring this project, if they could look at the brook for us, or what used to be a brook, and, make reestablishing the brook from South Street to, Main Street, part of the project, which they informed me that they would take a look at it. They didn't give me any guarantees, but, because they are proposing a roundabout down there, and they'll have to be doing some construction in the area, I felt that, it was an opportunity to, see if I could get them to, because it runs along Route 9 also, as part of the project.
I know, back about maybe 6, 7 years ago, the state, from the Mattabasset sewers trunk line, the state redid the piping all the way to the Connecticut River. They did everything there and went under Route 99. They cleaned that up pretty good, but chances are they're probably gonna disturb that. But
Well, that's what I was thinking, they're gonna disturb that area, because the water does run, very well from the Mattabasset, outfall line, to the river.
yes,
It's from the outfall line north where the problem is. But I was still trying to talk them into making it part of their project.
that'd be great, that'd be great. And the other thing, if I may, I don't know, is it possible that we can get a monthly report from our zoning enforcement officer by chance? We get reports from everybody else in different categories.
Well, the zoning enforcement officer, he's not a director. He works for, the Director of Development and Planning. I'll talk to Stuart and see what we can come up with.
It'd be nice to know what's going on as far as, because everybody else usually gives their reports.
Yeah,
And
like I said,
it'd be
though,
nice.
he's not a director, but I'll see what I can do for you.
That'd be appreciated, thank you.
Any other informational items?
I have one, if I may,
Mr.
Mr.
Town
Mayor.
Manager, yes.
I should have mentioned it earlier. This Saturday is the Cromwell Winter Farmers Market here at the Town Hall, 9 to 2. It's very well attended. Are you working?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Very well attended, a vast assortment of different vendors, and, it's a program we put on through the Recreation Department. We've done it for several years, and it's really, if you're still looking for presents or a little whatever, please join us.
Pretty big, too.
Excuse me?
It's large. It goes the
Yeah.
gymnasium, the lobby, the senior center. It's
Also informational item, the Historical Society, Cromwell Historical Society is going to be having their Just Another Solar Festival, a gathering of the winter holidays, 2025 Christmas open house at the Stephen Frisbee House at 395 Main Street on Saturday, December 13th, 2025 from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. and then Sunday, December 14th, 2025 from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. I plan to go on Sunday because there's no better way to celebrate my one-year wedding anniversary than to drag Kevin to an open, Historical Society open house, so, the poor man. But if anyone else wants to go, I encourage folks to go. The Historical Society does a really lovely job. They decorate the room really nice, the rooms really nicely for Christmas. I first went to it when I was in high school, and I was president of the Cromwell History Club at the high school. And we used to decorate one of the rooms, but every room is decorated. It's really a beautiful house. They have some beautiful decorations. I think in the last year, I think they had some vendors that came out as well. The Historical Society is such a treasure. So if anyone can make it this weekend, I'll be there Sunday, but hopefully I'll see some people there.
There's Sunday as well.
Paula will be there on Sunday as well.
I can't go Saturday, I'm gonna be here all day.
Fair enough. Anything else?
talking on, what the mayor is talking about as far as a historical society. If you folks have never been inside there, the woodworking in there is phenomenal. It's just like out of a textbook. And how could you not see something like that in Cromwell? It's just great. It's really, I was the greeter for many years for the Christmas party, for the Fridays and the Saturday and Sundays, till my legs gave up. But it's just so phenomenal to look at that nice woodwork in there. It's an art.
I agree.
In the Hubbard room, or the Randy room too.
It
with the
is really
wallpaper.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yep.
Steve said that, Alyssa did
Okay.
send her recommendation.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it, so we can then, we are not dismissed yet, so, we can take it off the table. I think we put it on the table. Can I have a motion to take off the table the appointment of Steve Heidsman from the Board of Education as their representative on the Facilities
Motion.
Commission? Made by Brian.
Second.
Seconded by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of taking it off the table, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Okay, now a motion to appoint him. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion? Seconded by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed,
So now-
abstention, motion carries.
So
Okay.
now we're only waiting on.
Yep, Board of Finance, and then I know Mr. Keithan was nominated by the Republican Town Committee, and Mr. Harpley was nominated by the Democratic Town Committee. So I think that should be our full cadre. Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Made by Paula. Second by Jack. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, opposed, abstention. We are adjourned at 9:04.